Hello everyone, it's Ryan again at Dark Winter Moon in Boston, and today I'm going to be interviewing Denise, one of my wonderful Insta friends, about her journey with Artemis. So this should be a very exciting interview for everyone, and me included. One of the reasons is that Artemis is the twin to my own deity Apollo, so I'm very interested to hear what Denise has to say. So without further ado, how about we get started? Like I said, everyone, I am here with the lovely and fascinating and fabulous Denise from at Cosmic Opal's Holistic Home on Instagram and also on Etsy. And Denise is a follower of Artemis. Super excited to talk to her today about her journey with the goddess. Artemis happens to be the twin of my deity Apollo, but unfortunately I don't know much about Artemis, so I'm going to learn as much as you all. Hello, Denise.
Good morning, Ryan. Good morning, everyone.
Morning. So, before we get into questions, would you like to kind of give yourself your own introduction?
I guess I'm a teacher of over 27 years, so it's in me to learn and educate others, and I'm just so excited to be here. I'm very much into earth and nature, and I think that's what brought me to you.
Yeah, absolutely. We had an instant connection, I feel like, on Instagram.
Right, so, we did.
Yeah, great. Well, again, I really appreciate you doing this. I'm sure that we'll have lots of great information to share with everyone. But let's start with our first question. Why Artemis?
I think I was born with Artemis's spirit. From an early age, I was just so connected, so curious with the wonders of nature, of earth, animals, plants. The forest is my second home. And so I think it's always been a part of me.
Yeah.
So I think that she chose me. I didn't choose her.
Yeah. You know, that comment resonates with a lot of the other interviews I've been doing, and just a lot of people I've talked to over the years, that there's always that simpatico between you and the deity, it seems like, where in some ways they choose you because you're so much like them.
Yes. And to the point where you feel like, in a past life, like sometimes I walk this earth during this time, and I feel like I've been here before, or I've done this before.
Yeah.
I feel like that's part of her, in me.
Yeah, absolutely get that.
Mm-hmm.
So why do you feel drawn to Artemis?
I feel like because of all of this, my connection with the earth is so strong. I am a very love and light, person. But when it comes to disrespect of nature, I can go from 0 to 180. I take it personally when I see trash.
Yeah.
I take it personally when I see somebody abusing an animal. I take it personally when, people are just disrespecting the earth, and it's an anger. It's it's my shadow work that comes out, but I feel like it's part of me. It is part of me, and that's where she comes in.
Yeah, there's definitely you sound like you invoke that warrior spirit of Artemis.
Yes, I'm carrying that bow and that, whatever they keep it in. I forget what that's
quiver.
Called. Yes, I have that invisible on me, and I do confront people when they're, disrespecting. Like, my husband will throw gum out the window of the car, and I get so mad at him. He's like, sorry, like,
right.
Some bird's gonna eat that.
Right. Well, and you were telling me that story about when you were a kid on the beach and that family had the hermit crabs. Would you like to share that?
Yes, I was about 6 or 7 years old, probably. And a family was on the beach, and they had a bucket, and they were taking those little tiny cute little hermit crabs, the ones that crawl out with the water and they go back in.
Yeah.
They had a bucket, and the beach is hot, that sun is, so they had the whole bucket filled with these little hermit crabs. No water, in the sun, so we all know what was going to happen to them.
Yeah.
So about 6 or 7 years old, I kicked that bucket over. I went right up, kicked the bucket over, and they all went back to the water. And the father approached me because, of course, that was hours of fun for them.
Yeah.
And I just was like, walked away, like, hey, I feel good because I mean, as much as some people might say, oh, they're just little crabs, there's a life in there.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's beautiful. I'm sorry?
That's a soul, little souls,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. I love that. So what is it like to form a relationship with Artemis?
It is so empowering. It is such a light energy. I always feel like when I go out, I have a feeling I know I'm going to receive a gift. I always can tell when I'm going to find a feather, when I'm going to find an antler. I just have this feeling inside of me that I'm going to find something. And these gifts that I receive from Artemis are the most important things to me in my world, because this is a great horned owl feather, and it's huge. Can you see that?
Beautiful. I wish everyone could see it on the video. We had technical difficulties. We were unable to record the visuals for this, so I'm going to post pictures along with this video so everyone can see all of the beautiful gifts that Denise has. Right.
So, and just a public service announcement, we are not, as humans, supposed to. It's illegal to pick up a predator bird's feathers because, it could have been harm to them. The only way that you can pick them up is if you are of Native American descent or for religious purposes, and that's why I do take them, because I do use them in my magic. So
yes.
Just a little public announcement. And I get these gifts. Everybody says, how do you find these things? I'm observant. I'm one with Artemis out there, and I don't feel any danger at all by myself in the middle of the woods.
Absolutely.
Now take your phone with you. No. What if something happens? No. I am where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah, that totally resonates too. So you already kind of touched on some of this, but what do you personally do as a follower of Artemis?
My gosh, the gifts that I get, I like to give back to Artemis and to, the earth spirit. So when I do find a gift, I do return gifts. I have an altar in the middle of the woods. I can't find my way down the street to the grocery store because, this street, that street, what? But if you put me into the woods, I know every nook and cranny. It's amazing how I'll never get lost.
Yeah.
So I have an altar in the woods in a secret spot, and it's been there for about, I'm going to say 15 years. And nobody's ever touched it except once recently. Somebody kicked it over, and I felt like it was right in my heart.
Oh,
but
gods, yes.
That's going to happen. But so I return, I give gifts. And sometimes along my walks, I know that this was supposed to be for me. But sometimes it resonates with me that I need to keep it here. It needs to stay in the woods. So I will take whatever I find that I know is giving back to Artemis.
Yeah.
And then I also have, when I do find little critters, this is a little toad. And
beautiful.
He died of natural causes. If I didn't kill a hermit crab, I'm not killing an ant. So I'm not killing him. But I found this little guy, and so what I do is I preserve him, and his spirit now is part of my magic, part of me. And when I need toad energy, I will pull him out. I talk to him. All my little things I talk to. So he's with me, and he's kind of like my little jarred familiar.
Right.
You know,
Right.
I have a lot of little things like that, and I do have the book today, Ryan. I'm going to show this book.
Great.
This is like my little Artemis spirit. You can see I use this book, and this is my go-to. It's Animal Speak by Ted Andrews. He writes a lot of these animal spirit, nature things, and so when I do find, something, or the hawk keeps coming to me and I'm not getting the message.
Yeah.
This book is great about, what season it's connected to, what, cycle it is, and what you're supposed to learn from that animal. So this is my religion. I get my messages. I get what I need from these spirits, animal spirits, and that's Artemis.
That's beautiful. And I'm going to totally link that book in the description below as well, so everyone can see what you're talking about. But you could definitely tell that book is well loved and well used.
Yes. I mean,
beautiful.
Now I'm getting to the point where I know which animal spirits are connected to me. But once in a while you'll see something like, I saw a blue heron. It flew right past me so low. It was magnificent. And I said, well, what's that message? So
sure,
I do keep this with me.
Absolutely. So when Artemis first reached out to you, how did you react?
Well, I've always had her spirit with me. I've always felt like I was part of her, but I didn't know. When I was 6 years old on that beach, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know why I was doing it. I just knew it was wrong, and it triggered me.
Sure.
But as I got older and educated in everything, and I learned that I was chosen, I was honored.
Sure.
I was really honored, because it is part of who I am. If you look around my house, there's bones, there's feathers. Like, I don't have IKEA stuff, and I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm saying because of who I am, that's what I surround myself with.
Yeah.
And it really is empowering to know that she does walk beside me, and I do hear her speak to me. And, when I am watching two little insects or learning from them, she's teaching me her way. Sure.
Well, and back to kind of what we were saying earlier, there's that resonance with you and her, and it's always been there. It's just, it sounds like it took you a while to realize that.
It took me decades to realize that. I always knew that I was, very sensitive to it, but I didn't know why. And now that I know why, I am, aware of why these signs come to me, why I am learning this.
Sure.
Why I found, about a month ago, I found a turtle shell upside down in a swampy area, and it was just sitting there waiting for me, and it was fresh. I could smell that it was a skunk that had attacked it. It was upside down, and all the bones were in it clean, like sucked clean.
Yeah.
And the bottom part of the turtle, this skunk knew to turn the turtle over, because that was its weak spot, and attack and pull it, like how we humans, like people that eat crabs, you open up the bottom.
Yeah.
That skunk knew to turn that turtle over. And I learned that, animals learn defense mechanisms. They learn how their prey, where their weak spots are. Kind of like human beings. We learn what our strengths, what our weaknesses are. We learn what others' strengths and weaknesses are. We try to help each other improve them. And that's what I learned from it. So I looked at this turtle shell, thought of the violent death that this poor turtle had gone through, knowing it was the end for it. But then I connected it to human behavior. Here we are. Let's not be violent with each other. Let's not turn each other over and attack each other. Let's, help each other, and with those vulnerable spots. And that's what it does for me. That's how it teaches me. That's how I get educated in my life.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that. So what would you say is the most rewarding factor about working with Artemis?
Oh, my gifts. My gifts,
Mm-hmm.
my the connection, knowing that my magic is real, knowing that I am special, I'm chosen, and I am
Mm.
here on this earth to do her work
Yeah.
in our world today. All these years and time has gone by, and yet her spirit is still protecting the earth
Yeah.
and the spirits. And she's also the saint, like, not a saint, she's also like the protector of young girls.
Sure. Sure.
And as a teacher, I've always taken girls under my wing, tried to teach them that in this world you can be confident, you can do whatever you want. If you like science and math, you can like that. You can enjoy this without going, ew, that's gross.
Sure.
And I have many girls who are interested in this, but
And that is a skull, right?
this is a raccoon skull
Ah.
that I found. But what is that? That rhyme? Boys are.
Oh, yes.
Dog. What is
Um,
it?
Snakes and snails and puppy dog tails. That's what little boys are made of. Yeah.
Yeah. And girls with ribbons in their hair. And I never liked that because I never wore ribbons in my hair. I could never keep a ribbon in my hair for more than 2 minutes. But this whole process of Artemis and girls, like the connection with young girls,
Mm-hmm.
it's nice for me to be a role model to these young girls and say, hey, there's nothing gross about this. I'm touching it. I'm not hurt. I'm not diseased. And this
Right.
is kind of really cool. And I have a lot of young girls who, oh, can we name him? And I bring him in and we learn from
The frog.
this. And
Yeah.
yes, and these children, even the boys, are learning about nature.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to tell you, Ryan, in a world where these kids are always on their phone, they're always playing video games, it just makes me feel so good that they're interested in this.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's part of who I am, and I get to share it. And I know Artemis is smiling when I do it.
Right. Well, it's so important to expose children when they're young in that way and let them know, kind of expand their world, and let them know nature is a beautiful and interesting and maybe a little creepy to them until they get to know it, kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So cool.
We have in my classroom, there's a little courtyard outside of the classroom, and we have cicadas, and they crawl on the trees. And
Mm-hmm.
the first thing they do is, oh my God, it's a bug, and they start, they run in, and I go out, and I'm very calm, and I let it walk on me, and then they all want to hold it.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, ding 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 ding, I did it.
Yep.
Don't be afraid of it. There's no reason to jump from it. Even with spiders, we had a spider in the back of the room. They named it something. And, the custodian came in and cleaned up, and they were like, oh my God, he killed Spidey, or whatever the name was. And I was like, not that, they have to be like me. I'm not trying to force them to be like me. I'm just trying to get them to be enlightened and to learn and to appreciate that we're not the only ones here.
Yeah, absolutely. I get that. Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you say is the least rewarding factor about working with Artemis?
The least rewarding factor, I would say, is my sensitivity.
Mm.
I'm very sensitive to it. I don't like to see the violence, like the turtle. Let's go back to that.
Yeah.
I sat for weeks knowing that turtle knew it was its end.
Sure.
And you're laying there defenseless. And, some people might claim that animals do not have emotions, but that means they've never had pets. And they've never had a connection with animals, because even my pet rats have emotions.
Absolutely.
So I know that turtle suffered, and I keep that energy in me, and it sits with me. And that's the weakness. I keep it in, and I worry about it for weeks. He's gone. His spirit's still here someplace, but it's okay, Denise. Let it go.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't.
Yeah, totally understand. Well, it seems like it goes back to what you were saying about like the that warrior spirit, the kind of the protector spirit. And is there, I wonder, is there a bit of like maybe death doula in that for you where you can help them transition with that energy, or how do you process that energy?
Yeah, that's a good point, because then you keep all that sadness about it, but there's so much wonder in nature. There's so much amazing things, and I'm sitting in a room that's all windows. It's a 3-season room.
Nice.
And the birds, I have feeders, everything. So the birds are always around. I had a woodpecker, a red-headed woodpecker. He was really, it was a boy because he had red, hit the window. Now I get to the point where I know if the birds, when they hit, if they're going to survive or they don't, because of their position, because of learning from them.
Yeah.
I knew he wasn't going to make it. So I went out, picked him up, put him on my lap, and just was with him till the end. And he wasn't afraid. He knew he was, I guess, it's just a moment with me and that bird, but I know that I helped that bird in its journey from Earth to, the other realm, that it wasn't alone.
Sure.
And somebody loved it. And even in nature, they don't, maybe, well, animals do mate. Some of them mate for life. They stay together. But, at least I felt like I was helping it and I was there and it wasn't alone.
Yeah.
So there is that balance between feeling sad and knowing that, I'm keeping this little spirit here. He's not forgotten.
Yeah.
He's with us and he's teaching people and he's, living his life after death. So I guess that's the balance of it.
Yeah. That's that sounds that resonates with me. The balance, you always seeking balance. I feel like working with any deity, it's important to acknowledge the balance involved in that, for sure. Right. So what's a piece of advice you wish someone would have told you before forming a relationship with Artemis?
I think I wish that I was aware of it sooner. I'd like to say, for those who are trying to find which deity they do connect with, which one that they, choose or have been chosen for, be aware of the signs, be aware of what's being brought to you.
Yeah.
Because I wish I knew this decades ago.
Sure.
Because then, I did appreciate it, but then I would have appreciated the connection and that empowerment that comes with it, and that confidence to go kick over that bucket and, see somebody throw trash, pick it up. Some people would be afraid to tell people not to put the trash. I mean, I'm not, can you pick that up? I'm not saying it like, pick it up. Just like, please pick that up. And people listen, because I guess it's my energy that's nice about it. So whatever deity you choose, be aware of the signs that are coming, because I wish I knew this.
Yeah, absolutely. That resonates too. I feel like, for lack of a better word, I'll say this. In my own experience, I was kind of dumb about the signs, and it took me a while to admit it, because I'm like, no, surely not. Like that. I feel like that happens a lot. Where
they slap you across the face, the signs, and you don't get it.
Right.
It's like, why do I keep seeing this hawk? Like, why do I keep seeing this hawk? Why do I keep seeing the hawk? And then all of a sudden you realize why, and you don't see it anymore. It's like, oh.
Yeah. Absolutely true. All right. So is there anything else that you would like to share about working with Artemis?
It's just part of who I am. I love this connection, this magical spirit. I feel so free and empowered and so grateful to have this piece in my life. And I thank you for having me and listening to my story. I could go on and show you all my things that I have, but I appreciate your interest.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we'll have to do a show and tell once I get the video issues figured out, then we can do a show and tell and we can show off everything.
Oh my gosh, I have so much. It could be hours.
Right, right. Well, thank you so much, Denise. It's been a pleasure. I've learned so much, and I feel like this video is going to teach so much. So thank you so much. And like I said, everyone, this is Denise from @Cosmic Opals Holistic Home on Instagram, and she also has a lovely Etsy shop and knows everything about crystals. It's amazing. Like, her knowledge is just, she's my go-to. So thank you so much, Denise, and blessed be.
Blessed be. Love and light.
Love and light. Mwah.
Bye-bye.
So there you have it. That was Denise telling about her journey with the goddess Artemis. I don't know about you all, but I feel like I not only know a lot more about Artemis now, but I have this good heart sense of the goddess. There's a lot of emotion and power in Denise's descriptions and her practice. I'll go ahead and link all the information Denise was talking about, including the book that she was talking about, as well as her Etsy. She's Cosmic Opals Holistic Home, and she's also that on Instagram @Cosmic Opals Holistic Home. But like I said, I'll link that all below, and thank you all again for joining. Always appreciate the follows and the watching and the likes of the videos. Please like the video. And as always, have a wonderful weekend. Blessed be. Love you all.